What's up, video land? How are you all today? It is September 1st or 2nd. So it is the official celebrating of Labor Day. It's Monday, September 2nd. And I am sitting in my dining room, guys. And that's why it's a little dark here, because I got a lot of sunlight, natural sunlight in my house, so I don't bother. I don't even bother turning lights on. I'm sitting in front of my favorite place in the house, which is my window. I sit here and I think and I reflect. I got really big windows. And I want to tell you all a story about a show that I did. I did Mentorship Miami, which was last week. And I'm going to give you a story. And it's not that this has never happened to me before, but I think it resonated with me differently. I was teaching a color class, okay? I teach business and color. I was teaching a color class, and I know I'm a good teacher. I know I give good information. And my classes are more to empower people, to give them the steps on how to move in another direction. That's really what they're about. So I give you information to help you know if you start here, how to go from here to there, there to there. Anybody that's been in my classes knows that's what I do. So there was a gentleman in the class, and this gentleman, I'll be 50 in a month, so I'm assuming he probably was about my age, maybe even a little older. And he was from somewhere, because he had a very strong accent. I don't know if it was Haitian, Jamaican, but it was an accent on that order. And the class was packed, and it was going really great. And there were several people in the class that had been to my Color Me Crazy programs and many things that I had done. And so they were with me. You know, I love when I get people that have been in my classes, because they feel me. You know, you kind of connect with them, and they know what you're saying is true, and they become your people that can kind of attest to what I'm saying is true, and they become your little testimonies, basically. So this guy, at maybe about midways in the class was about an hour and a half, he first of all, he kept raising his hand, you know, over and over, which I'm cool with that. I love questions. But occasionally, for those of you all that are educators or even interested in educating, you know, you do occasionally get those people that like to take over a class. So I kind of knew he was going to be that guy, right? So no problem. So he raised his hand and he was asking questions, and I can answer just about anything that he asked. So I was doing that. Then I guess after he had nowhere to go, he was kind of trying to hem me up a little bit. And anybody that knows me, you sit in my class, you're not going to hem me up, because if you want to see who know more, then let's do this, right? That's always my philosophy. Let's do this. Because I like people that know a lot. Let's dialogue. Let's do this. So basically, he finally realized he had nothing else to say that would detour or detract from what I was teaching. So he finally just said, I don't know who y'all got in this class that y'all service, but all I know is, he didn't say he thought. He said, all I know is, clients are not going to pay X amount of dollars. He basically was coming up with these definitive things that you cannot absolutely unequivocally do in this business. So you already know what happened, right? Because there's many people in this class that I've taught, that have learned from other people, that have done everything that he said. I mean, he was like, it was non-negotiable. It can't be done, right? So I had to pause, because that's when my wisdom set in. And I said, okay, let's see how this goes. And then that's when I call them my little soldiers, right? They wanted to jump in and defend me. They were like, look, I done been to her classes, and I let them go for a small piece. But then after I saw the class start getting crazy, right? Because I know how to calm a class down. I calmed it down. And actually, the reason because I can shut a class down immediately. But the reason I let this go for a minute was because I'm also listening. I'm also listening to the thoughts of others and how they see their value and how they don't see their value. And you got all this different stuff going on. And I finally shut it down and I said, look, this is the moral to that story. I am not here to convince you of anything. I'm just here to give you direction. I'm here to just show you what is possible, but the convincing and the believing it is on you. That is not on me to make you believe anything. My goal is to, when you decide to believe something, I'm going to show you the steps on how you do what you need to do so you can grow, so you can make more money, so you can evolve, so So it was interesting because it's not like I've been doing this a long time, y'all. So he was mild compared to some of the other battles I've almost had to get into in classes. But this is what I took from that. And I thought about it, and I kind of reflected on it with everything that I do and all the different people that I teach, that I train, that I just talk to. What I realized is I don't care how much you pay for a coach, for a mentor, for a webinar, for a free Facebook Live. I don't care what it is, for a DVD. I don't care what information medium you choose, what source, it doesn't matter. If you don't believe change is possible, you will never be as valuable as you really are. You will consistently and constantly decrease your worth because you just choose not to believe it. I actually love athletes. I'm a person, the only sport I really absolutely love is basketball. I am an NBA basketball just nut. I know the players, all of that. And I asked myself this all kind of reflected in my mind after this class. What makes somebody like LeBron James, who comes from nothing, who had all the obstacles against him, what makes somebody like him believe that unequivocally he can go to the NBA from the time he was a baby boy all the way until he actually... What makes somebody like Jay-Z, who came from Marcy Projects, who had nothing, what makes them believe that their lives can be bigger? Because see, I'm hearing all these people all the time that don't even have these type of obstacles against them. They not even in these situations, but yet they choose to flat-footed say that stuff can't be done. What makes a person, and I'm just thinking of all the people that I know we admire and people that we think are just the bomb, and we look at their lives and we don't understand that at some point they had to choose to believe what they did not see. They had to choose to believe things could happen regardless of what they were looking at, of what they were in, of the way it was. And let me tell y'all something about increasing your value. I don't want to hear no more about this. My clients, if they call me to come in, you ain't got to come in. If you start saying the word no, you will be amazed at how people will work around what you offer them and not pull you in where they need you to be. If you say, look, I'm like Target. I open at 8 and I close at 10 on this day, and that's it, and that's all, and you get in where you fit in, you will be amazed at how people will conform. And that's where you start realizing, okay, I guess I am. I'm valuable. I guess they do want to work it out to make sure that it works for me. But you got to believe that it can happen. I hear people saying all the time, and I'm going to give you this scenario too. I'll never forget, I don't remember what company I was working for. I've been teaching since 97, y'all, doing hair since 88, 89. I started teaching in 97. This may have been a year or two after I started teaching, because I don't think it was 2000 yet. And whatever company I was working for, this is when I first got on the trade show circuit. So I, like most of you all, I believe the only way to have a successful show was to do all of these people. Like, I think they had contracted like 16 models, and I could hold the crowd. I could burn the stage up. That was back in my heyday. I was doing it, and I could pump out these people. I was used to doing it. One to get another one, and I ain't talking about no basic hairstyles. I'm talking about doing this avant-garde and all this crazy stuff, and I did it. And I thought that was how you wow the crowd. I thought you had to do more. I thought that was the only way to get the sales. And I didn't understand how to shift. Now, I do remember getting to the point where even though I thought that was how you did it, I'm like, I'm tired. And I'm not eating. I would stand on the stage if the show was 8 hours, I was on the show for 7.5 of those, right? The other was just to use the bathroom. And I'll never forget what changed my life. And this was actually not even my choosing. It was an accident that happened. So I remember whatever company this was, they had rented a 15-passenger van. to get all the models from wherever they were picking them up from. The model, the van, they had an accident. Not like a bad accident where, nobody was hurt, but an accident where the van wouldn't run no more, and I think they had 2 flat tires, and it was just crazy, right? So they were a little distance away. So basically they couldn't get there. So whatever happened, it's like 2 hours into the show, and this was one of those times, usually you can pull people out the audience, like, come on, you want to get your hair done? This is one of them days, nobody, they just didn't, for whatever reason. So I said, okay, and here I am like, what do I do? Because this is now unfamiliar to me, and you've all heard me talk about that word fear. I don't use the word fear. I just realized this was unfamiliar. Fear is just, I'm unfamiliar with this. I ain't scared. I'm just unfamiliar with what's going on here. I don't know what to do next. So what I had to do was I had to click into a really swift thinking mode on what to do next. And so what I did was I said, okay, I told them go get me some more chairs. I told them, because, normally it's just a booth. It's not really a bunch of chairs. It's just maybe 1 or 2, and they really ain't meant for people to sit in. They're really for us. I said, look, go get me like 8, 10 chairs. And I had no idea, guys, how this was going to work. No idea. And I turned the booth. I made them pull the table back so the chairs could come in more, so they weren't just in the aisles. And I turned the whole booth into class. Just a class. I knew I could do that. I turned the booth into class. And guys, it changed my entire perspective. Let me tell you what happened. And this is why I say you just got to believe and keep it moving. And as my girl Mimi says here, you got to keep it moving. But I believed. I didn't even know how, guys. I believed that we could still do this. I believe that we can still make this a successful show. Had no clue of what I was trying was going to work. You don't have a clue, but you just got to believe that it can happen. When I did that, guys, I learned something. That show actually sold more products. It was more effective than any other program we had ever done. And I did 0 hair. I literally talked about the products. I talked about what was in them. I just used different examples of people I was seeing in the audience. Come over here. Let me show them that this is what a product could do. I think I had them go buy some magazines from one of the stands to show them different pictures, because back then we didn't even have like Google Images and all that stuff. I basically my point is, I believed that it wasn't over. I believed that I got to do something. They paying me to be here. I can't just sit and say, oh, well, whatever. I believed it first, having no idea of what to do next. Second, third, I just said, let me figure out something. Guys, they started doing the booths like that from now on. And guess what? I ain't got to do 16 people no more. I was like, oh, it changed something. I said, are you serious? It really was one of those things that showed me you got to believe it first. What does the Bible say? You first got to believe that he is first. Then you will start seeing the things that God will start to bless. You got to believe it first. You got to believe that I can raise my prices. And they going to stay, or if some of them don't stay, the ones that pay for the price increase going to pay for the ones that go, cool, I do less people, make the same or more money, I'm good. You have got to believe that this situation, whatever it is, you got to believe that where I'm at is I can't stay here. I don't even know how to get to the next place, but I can't stay here. I finally talked to that guy at the program that I was just telling y'all about after that, and I pulled him to the side because that's naturally who I am. I'm a coach, so naturally I wanted to help him and talk to him a little bit off script because he felt like he was attacked, and I understood that because he really was. I said, look, let me tell you something. I don't even remember his name. I said, let me tell you something. When you ready, that's exactly what I said to him. When you're ready and you believe that he said he had been doing hair 18 years, and you believe that this 18-year cap that you've reached is not the end for you, you holler at me. You holler at, because I realize you have to let them come to you. You holler at me, you call me, I'm going to set up for you to come to this class. I don't do private trainings in color because it's too hard. Too much got to go into that. I'm going to set up private trainings. I had trainings already set up. I want to invite you to my color training session. and I want you to come, but you got to believe it first. You got to believe that this situation that you're in, that he told me he was not happy with, you got to believe it could change. I could teach you everything you need to know about what to do, but if you don't believe it, it's not going to matter. That man called me. He called me maybe 2-3 days later, and he said, even if I have to give you some money, I can't do the next one, which is in October, so that was a little soon for him. He said, but can I put some money down to come to the one that's actually going to be in February? I said, not a problem. So he'll text me now and again and ask questions, and typically I won't even do this because he ain't paying me nothing, really. He ain't like coaching, but I'll answer him. Because all I wanted him to get was, you got to believe it first. Your value is your decision. How much you're worth, how you want people to respond to you, you make that decision. I don't care how. A coach of basketball, let me take that again. A coach of basketball can literally coach those players. He can tell them they great, they this, they that, the other. I mean, he can write the plays out, but he can't go out there and play the game for them. He cannot do it. They still got to run. They still got to jump. They still got to shoot. You got to do the work, okay? And this is Labor Day. You got to do the work, but you determine how valuable you are. What is it that makes an NBA team that loses year after year after year after year, never gets to even the playoffs, let alone the actual finals? They don't get there, but every year they come out and they try to do something better than last year because they believe that they can win. It does not change. They don't be like, oh, well, we ain't never going to win. You can't even play life is a game, and you got to play to win, like the lottery. You got to play to win. If you say this is it, ain't nothing going to change, people ain't going to, I hear salon owners, this it, they ain't never going to change. Okay, then you have sealed your fate, period. The problem is, though, is that we see basketball teams, they shake it up, put different players, do different stuff, whatever they need to do, and we don't always understand why. The thing that I realize that happens is to change and to actually play the game of life, sometimes you may have to change players. Sometimes you got to change the plays themselves. Sometimes you got to do some stuff you ain't never done before. This is where the problem comes in. You won't change, but you don't want to change nothing. Sometimes if you don't like that in your place of work that you can't make the money you supposed to make, this and that, your value in your mind, and you do believe, but where you are doesn't fit with that, then you go where people celebrate you. You go where people understand why shampoo and style costs $75. You pick up your little self and your knapsack and you move. Don't ever value yourself and demote yourself because the people around you only gonna do X, Y, Z. No. You pick your little knapsack up and you go where they understand your value. I don't care what that means. I don't care if it means moving shops. I don't care if it means moving states. I don't care what it means. You put yourself in a position so that people match to you, not the other way around. And I see people doing that over and over and over. And I'm telling them, I'm like, look, if you are not getting what you need where you are, and you realize maybe this is that group, that they're not going to rise up, then you go somewhere else where you can do what you need to do. I don't care if it's I tell everybody that actually takes my color seminars, you want to really get better at color? Go work part-time at a white shop. Go work part-time at an all-white salon or a color bar where that's all they do all day. I ain't say give up your whole day job. I said just go work part-time, get some of the experience, because they ain't scared to charge. See how they do what they do, because they got that color thing on lock. Go work over there part-time. Don't worry about no money. Work on commission. You ain't got to buy nothing, do nothing. Go in there, make your little money. You're there for free education. You're there for free experience. You're there to be able to sit and watch how they do what they do and say, okay, I got this. And then you build from that. That's how you do it. That is something that you got. You have to be willing to to put yourself in a position where you can grow and stretch and make people meet you and not you meet them. Okay, and it's way past. We hear that thing about you're only as good as the 5 people that you're around. No, it's even bigger than that. You got to make sure the majority, I mean 5, 10, 20, if it's a particular group you got to become, a social group you got to become connected to, I don't care what you do. Do not ever don't dumb down your conversation. Don't dumb down your thought process. Don't do none of that. You go somewhere where they appreciate you. They pull you up. You want to be the dumbest one in the group. You want to go somewhere where they know way more than you. You want to go somewhere that you can pull from. Well, you're not the smartest person in the group. You're not the only one that does certain things, because then you feel stuck. You feel like a hostage. I hear people say it all the time. I'm in this shop and I'm the only one that thinks like that. Well, then move. And I don't care what it means. I see people do it every day. I done seen people pick up families. I done seen people pick up jobs. I done seen people fly and work over here for 2 weeks and work over there for 2 weeks. I don't care what you got to do. Do it. But you determine how valuable you are, not your surroundings. And that means, and I hate to say this to y'all, that means if you got to give a couple people 50 feet, so be it. Now, I ain't say you got to cut them off. But if that means that you have to take away some of the time that you're spending with people who don't value themselves either, let me tell you something. I got a serious strong mind. I am not a person that conforms at all. But I myself have been in situations where I got so many of the other situations I didn't control, maybe just somewhere I'm passing through, where I got so much of the other around me, and they coming at me just, come on, do this, do that, do this. And even though I'm not going to do it, the aggravation with them constantly bothering me about doing it, or constantly trying to get me to think different, do different, be different. There have been times when my mind was almost like, well, how much can it hurt? I was like, oh, no. I have to get myself back in order. My point is, if you keep doing it, even the strongest minded of persons can literally start to little bit by little bit start to conform. So you want to guard your mind. You want to guard your ideas. That means you cannot tell everything you about to do to everybody. You have to start putting yourself in positions to stretch, to grow, to learn, to reflect, to do all of that. And bottom line is, you make the decision. Nobody else does. So if that's for all y'all that's saying what you can't, they won't let me do. I don't want to hear that. Because if you need to put yourself in another position where they will let you, where they do understand it, where they will pay it, then that's what you need to do. I don't care where it's at. You need to do that. It may even cause you to go into places of isolation. You may have to guard yourself down. No, I can't roll with y'all. I don't go to lunch with y'all. I don't go to... No, we don't do that because, see, we on the same wavelength. Because you have to plan these transitions. You don't just wake up one day and do it. You plan, okay, I know I'm going to have to move away from here. I know I'm going to have to do this. I know I'm going to have... And you start going into strategizing mode. That's what coaches are for. That's what I do. You go into strategy mode. You start saying, okay, I'm going to give myself 12 months, and then I got to be up out of here. So let me get this set up, that set up. Let me create what we call a transitional plan. That's what we do. This is something that you have to do, but you do not want to keep devaluing your beliefs and what you know can happen to accommodate the people that are around you. You cannot continue to do that. Or I'll be in the class battling with you like I was with this guy. And then I'll say, you know what? Let me stop, because I'm not going to battle with you about what... I'm not here to convince you of how life can be better for you. I'm just here to show you how it can. The believing and the convincing is on you. You're going to just have to believe that. You're going to have to believe that, yes, it is possible to get somebody to pay you $100 for a shampoo and style. Yes, my average color ticket is $300-$400 and higher. I didn't start there, but I believed that I can get there. I believe that as long, and this is another thing, guys, when you decide to believe it, you also have to represent what you believe. You can't be raggedy asking nobody for $400. You can't be late all the time asking nobody for $400. You cannot be your shop looking like crap and the sinks look like they ain't been cleaned since God knows when and asking somebody for $400, $500, $600. You need to look like $400, $500, $600. You need to look like the place when we go to restaurants and they got the menu on the outside of the door. You want to get to the point where if you had to put your prices outside of the door, you letting people know before you walk in here, I need you to understand what this is, okay? But when they walk in, they shouldn't be shocked. They shouldn't be like, "Whoa, you do have, Lord have mercy," or looking at, or a bunch of drama, a bunch of cussing, that doesn't go with a $400 or $500 ticket for a basic color service. So you need to step up your game and make sure you look like what you asking people for. See, half of y'all raggedy, and then you wonder, I can't get them to charge more. It ain't just about believing. You also have to represent from your place to where you do have, to everything about it, the way the outside, the inside, the way the culture go. You have to look like that. So while you believing, you also got to get some things together. That means the hardest thing we have to manage, guys, is ourselves. It's easy to tell people what to do, but you got to be the thing that you want to see. If you talk about, if you got to look the part, speak the part, your work ethics have to be together. These are the things now, at least when you say $600, $700, all a person can just say is, okay. They can't say, why would I pay you $600 and you don't get here on time and look how you look and look how you, people pay for an experience also. There, my girl Mimi, you right. That's my baby there. People pay for an experience. They don't just pay for your skill set. Everything gotta go with it. Everything. If your lighting's bad, go get you somebody to get you some, put some better lighting in that place. You got raggedy chairs, raggedy dryers, all that goes with telling somebody, because I ain't got no problem. I look you dead in your eyes and say your bill's $650. And I may have done something that only took me an hour and a half. I believe what I did is worth $650. I didn't put money in this spot. I am here before you get here. I ain't never, if I'm late, something wrong. Late to me is like on time. That means I'm walking in with you. That's late to me. My clients can tell you, I'm always here. You ain't got to worry about it because I don't believe in getting to work as soon as I'm supposed to start. I get to work an hour, 2 hours earlier because I don't want nobody running in there with me. I want to breathe for a minute. And I've always been that way about time. So this is something while you're believing and deciding what you are worth and what your value is to other people, you got to do more than just change your environment and change your surroundings in terms of people. You have to change you. You have to change who you are. You have to be more educated. Let clients know every time you go to a class, a show, a this and that. Let them know. Look, I'm paying for this. I'm paying to stay on top of this stuff. Go back and try stuff. Go back and let them know. I just went to this show. I'm going to try. These are the things that I have done my entire career. I've always been excited about whatever I got from a show. I bring it back. Y'all, I just learned this new thing. Woo, woo, woo. So therefore, I was constantly increasing my value to my clients and myself year after year after year after year, to the point now when my clients, I'm trying to go the other way. I'm trying to quit. So my clients already know they on borrowed time. But what they also knew was that every time I had a price increase, guess what, guys? They never said, oh, we ain't going to be able to pay that. You know what they would say? Shoot, I'm going to have to go get me another job. I'm going to have to go work some extra hours. It was never, I ain't coming. It was always what they need to do to get to what I'm asking for now. It was never the other way. And that had nothing to do with me being special. That was about me understanding that every time I asked them for more, I had to do more. I had to be more. I had to do things better. Every time I want more money from you, things got to change about me. And you need to see the change. 100%. So therefore, the only thing, if ever they said it, was that they just couldn't afford it. I ain't heard that not one time. It'll be 32 years for me in February. I've not heard that one time. They would say, girl, I just got to work some extra hours. I know I got to do good. At least they allow us to do overtime now. That's the stuff I would hear. So for all of you all out here who are steady talking about what you can't do, you got some work to do. You decide your own value. Nobody else. And I'm getting ready to go because I'm barbecuing some chicken. My husband had to go to work for a couple hours. I'm barbecuing some chicken. and I don't want to burn my chicken up. So I'm getting ready to go. Peace out. But remember this, you decide what you're worth, no one else. Have a happy Labor Day.